Welcome back to Life the Wild Ride. Today, we're we're going to get this thing together. I know my last video basically was saying we've done nothing on the bus, but yesterday we got a lot of stuff done that need to get done. Today's my birthday, so I'm taking my birthday and doing some stuff I want to do. Trace is here with me, so now we are going to get this in the wood shop, get it cut down to where it needs to be, get it put together. We got to trim out the sides with tiger maple like we did this one here, and then we'll get it back on the bus, and eventually Tracy will start coating this one like the other side, and we'll have our countertops on this side of the bus going. And then that'll be it for cabinetry, I believe, other than just finishing up stuff. So I'm not sure how much of this process I'll show, but once we get everything put together, we'll show you where we're at and what this looks like in place. I will say that I should have done a little bit better work when we were sorting the wood. This piece is a separate piece. It's all made out of the same wood, but for some reason we used a lot of the shorter stuff so we could save the longer stuff, and the coloring is quite a bit different. So I'm hoping once we poly it, it'll all bring out kind of the color. It'll be okay. It won't look like a definite separation here. So, well, we'll see how that comes out. Anyway, first thing I'm going to do is get it cut down the size and get these two pieces together. And the reason why they're separate is they would not fit through the big sander. We'll see you in a bit. So we got the countertops cut down the size. Now I'm going to join them together. And I'm going to use pocket hole screws to join this section. Everything else has been glued. But to put this piece on, I'm just pocket hole and screwing. I'm putting 6 in this piece going that way. And then I'll tip this up and put 4 coming into here, so it'll have plenty of screws to fasten down. So I just got this last one to do here. Yeah, the Craig jigs are super handy. I've used it a lot on the bus. Alright, so I'm just going to get this piece out of the way. Alright guys, we're clamping down the trim pieces here. Now I'll show you a little closer what I'm doing here, so if you're doing something like this, it's a little trick to get a flat top. Tracy's just clamping in. She's got my birthday hat. I apologize for the swear word. My daughter bought it. So what we're doing is putting the trim on the edge like we did over here. We're going to do this a little bit different on this side. So we got this curved edge. We're just going to continue this curve right into this. But what I'm doing over here, well, let me just show you. If you look closely, this board is thicker than the countertop, so it gives the countertop a little bit thicker, more sturdy look to it, and of course it trims it out. The problem is you want this top to be flush, and if you use the standard Craig clamp like this on top of both seams, underneath it's uneven, so it's not really going to be holding it straight. So a trick to do that is to use 2 clamps, and you have one of them is clamped on, because you have one flat board on top. That's going to make your surface smooth. Your piece, one side and the side hook to it, will go up against this board, and that'll give you a smooth surface. To keep it that way, you're going to use one clamp in further to your thinner surface and a separate clamp out here on your thicker one. So they're both pulling up straight up to this board that we're just going to take off afterwards. If you try to clamp across the two here, the 2 different levels, you're not going to get a smooth finish on the top or a close connection, a nice tight joint. So that's what we're doing. We have 2 different clamps, one clamping on the thinner surface and one clamping on the thicker one. And once we're done putting the screws in and gluing and all that stuff that we're doing to it, we'll remove those clamps, take off this top board, which will give us a nice tight fit and very, very level. The pocket hole screws are all in. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove these clamps, and we'll show you what we're talking about here. Well, that one's off. And then this is just a board that we put there to have this come up against something on both sides. So the board's going to be wide enough to sit on both sides of the joint here. And now we're darn near perfect. We just got to do some light sanding, and of course Tracy's going to work her magic like she did this counter over here and make this one look beautiful too. Alright, we just got one more piece we're going to put in here. We won't be putting any down the sides here because the stove will slide in here. And then we're going to do something a little bit different here like we talked about. This probably won't end up being thicker on the end here. I had a couple ideas, haven't really finalized, but for now we're going to go ahead and cut this off, round it over, and continue it into that surface. So we just got this last one here we're going to be putting on here now, and you can see what we're doing here. Tracy put that in place. This probably has to be cut off, Trace, but I can cut it off afterwards. So I cut these a little long, huh?
Measure it and I'll go in and cut it.
Trey's going to go ahead and cut that, and then we're going to clamp it in place right here. So it'll go up against this, just like we talked about, and that gives you your your smooth surface. All right, I'll just wait for her to come back. Here it is. It's not coated, obviously, but it's in place, and of course this is the other short piece that was part of that. That's going to be on the right side of the stove, because you want counter space on both sides of your stove. At least I do. And then let's just show you what we did here. Oh yeah, we still got this piece, Trace. We measured it, didn't we?
No.
Oh yeah, okay. No, we forgot. We got one more trim piece to put on the front here, but that's no big deal. Trace and I have been out here working on the bus today, and we were getting kind of hungry. So we thought we'd have some jerky. Let me tell you something. If you like jerky, you got to check this stuff out. This is jerky by Jerky Snob. This is craft jerky. And I just did a review of it on my other YouTube channel. It's so good. We finished these bags completely, each of us. But if you go camping and traveling, well, lots of times we pick up jerky and bring with us. If you want some good jerky, you can do that. If you want great jerky, check out Jerky Snob. I'll throw a link down in the description. But we got this one on, and that one on. And let me just show you the transition here. And we're actually thinking about making some modifications. We've thought this through several different ways. Let me get on the other side because that sun is shining in. So originally, we were going to put another piece directly underneath this and finish this contour. Actually, it was supposed to stick out, and this was supposed to butt up against it. And we had that, and then ended up having to cut it off to get a nice square cut. So, you know, it changes as you go. So then we put these on. Of course, they come off flat here. So we rounded them off like this, and now I had to transition because the thickness is different into this. But we really want this a little bit thicker. So I think what we're going to do is go ahead and take a piece, a block in here, a piece on here, and a block at the other end, and finish this contour around the front. And if this ends up a little bit thicker, because I want it to look more rugged, we'll taper back into this piece here. But it's going to be like maybe an 1/8 of an inch difference, so it's not going to be a lot. But we're not 100% sure. We're still thinking that process through of exactly what we want to do. Because we don't mind this look. It doesn't look too bad. It's just the transition, and this is a little bit thinner. And then if Tracy wants to walk through there and kind of get an idea of our space, we did make it snug. There's not a lot of space there, but there's enough for us. But I was very adamant about having 2 rooms. And this is the thing that we eliminated. Then we went the leaf method in our minds, and then back and forth. And I said, no, one night, I think in one of the videos you heard me talk about it, we're going to have an L shape because that's what we want. That's what we wanted from the beginning. So there it is. That makes this area here, which I'm all the way up into the driver's area here now. This whole area where Trace is sitting and is kind of like our living room. We're going to have good, comfortable chairs in here that we can sit at. And then we have our kitchen, which our kitchen is giant, but this is going to act like a bar stool here. Actually, bring that bar stool over here, Trace. So this is just like in the house. I think you saw in one of the other videos we went in the house. We'll be able to sit here, both of us together, sitting on something, and eat. So I can sit right here. Tracy can sit there, and that's plenty of room for us to sit and eat. And just sitting on, just a standard bar stool, and they come in 2 different heights. You can make adjustments to them. Not sure we'll use these stools because they'll probably stay in the house. But that's what it looks like. And this is what it looks like from this side here. Now we are going to have, probably if you watched all my videos, originally going to have a fold-up table over there and 2 chairs sitting on either side of it. Now we've made some adjustments to that because if we do that, then that's the permanent location for the table. And it doesn't give us the flexibility of having comfortable chairs in there and moving them around wherever we want them. And, really trying to figure out the plan that's going to work for us. So we decided we're going to have a table that folds up but gets put away in the garage area. I honestly don't think we'll use it a lot. But if we want to sit across from each other and play cards or something like that, a little table would be great. I'll probably custom build the table as well, so it's all out of the wood and stuff, and it'll be able to set up here, and we'll be able to pull our chairs up to it however we want, and we can put it up against the window if we want it there. But then if it's out of the way, put away, it gives us more room to put our recliners and stuff the way we want them. Now, I know that stuff, probably some of you are thinking, well, you're not going to be moving that around, right? You're going to want to fasten it down. And yet, we're thinking about how we're going to do that as well. I just don't want to be locked into one layout as far as the living room, because I have a chair in the house I really want to bring that's big. It's comfy. And Tracy has a chair she wants to bring. And, you know, we don't want it to be crammed up against each other. We're trying to figure out a way that we could sit at those chairs and still use the table, but they're too big to be on either side of the table. So we'd have to have 2 small chairs for the table, then our comfortable chairs, and now we've just chewed this space all up. So if we find a place to mount our comfortable chairs, we can then put the table in between them, wherever that happens to be. But that's still down the road. It'll probably change again. But the general layout, Tracy's smiling, yeah, we made some changes over this. But actually, you know, if you go back to our first video when we drew it on the gravel driveway out here, this is pretty close, although if I remember right, somewhere we had a wood stove worked in here.
Right, because this was...
Yeah, we did make some changes to that. But
the water tank.
Yeah, the water tank ended up taking a lot. That's true. Our kitchen ended up a lot bigger because of the 100-gallon water tank. And now, here's something to think about. I mean, I don't know if anybody's going to copy me or do anything, and I really don't. I don't care. My plan is nothing special. It's just what we came up with. But I'm sitting here thinking today, I know a way we could have made it better, and I'm not changing it. But the water tank, if we'd have slid this part of it into the water closet and had everything else in there above it, which easily I could do with the plans I have for that closet, I wouldn't have needed that last 2 feet below. That would have shifted this whole kitchen cabinet down this way a good 1.5 feet and gave us a bigger living room. So, you know, you live and you learn. And I know you guys out there that take the time to draw it all out and use SketchUp and all that, that's where you got one up on me, because you probably had all that figured out ahead of time. But that's just not my style. We just kind of like to go along as we go and make some adjustments. But I'll tell you what, no matter what, we're very happy with how this is coming out. It's looking good. The only thing I'm not happy about is the amount of time we're not able to get out here at the moment. Alright, I guess, again, enough rambling. Tracy looks tired. We've had a couple busy days. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this video up now. So, thanks for swinging by. Have a great day. We'll see you in another video, hopefully next week. And remember, life is a wild ride.
Bye.
Oh, bye.
Bye.
Alright guys, we'll see you next week. Also, if you watched my last video, I might start popping up other videos in between about just life, the wild ride in general, not necessarily bus build. So check them out. If I might put an extra one up this week, but I'm not 100% sure. So hopefully you like those two. If you're interested, follow along. If you're still just interested in bus stuff, then we'll see you Monday at 9 a.m.